Hi everyone, and welcome to our last week of doing our Read from Home. Next week we'll be back in school continuing with our unit on sacred places. Today we are going to dive deeper into the Christianity faith, thinking about their sacred place and what it means to be a Christian and what's special to them. So a little recap first of some of the things, artifacts, objects you may expect to see within and around a church. So inside we said they have seating, they will have the cross symbol and stained glass windows, as you can see here too, which usually will represent a part of the Bible, a special story to Christians. Here we have got the font where children are baptized. We have got the cross here, the Holy Bible, which is their special book full of important stories. And then we have got the church outside with a pointy steeple and sometimes crosses on the top too, which varied, didn't it, to the mosque and the synagogue, which had domes. So we are going to go on a tour of a church in Bristol, and I want you to what might be special and what might be sacred to believers. So we are going to go on a virtual tour, and this is a cathedral that I actually used to go to with my school. A cathedral is just like a really important church, as this is where a bishop has his seat to take the services. So I want to see if I can make it a bit bigger, because it's kind of small, isn't it? But hopefully you can see okay. It went a bit fuzzy when I tried to zoom in a minute ago. So you can see there's lots of seating, which we said is a part of being in a church, isn't it? There's lots of seating. Up here you can see some beautiful stained glass windows, and if we can zoom in and see them a bit better. Beautiful. So you can see there's different parts of the story shown on the stained glass windows. There's lots of them. Let's zoom out a bit. And then you can see the nice tall buildings, like we said. Lovely. More seating here. This is where I used to sit actually when they did the service. Here you can see there is a raised platform where somebody will take the service, and that is most likely the Bible that we could just see on there. Then there's a piano to do the hymns. Let's see if there's anything else we can spot. So over here, as you can see, there are some things on the walls. They are just some stories and notable people that have been put on the wall. Then down here, there is some more seating. There is a picture here. There were some candles. Again, along here, you can see some beautiful stained glass windows. This is really strange. This is where I used to line up when I went in with my school for the big service on Charter Day. It's just very beautiful, isn't it? You can see all the stone. I haven't seen a cross yet. Has anybody else spotted a cross? And then you can just see, like I said, so many stained glass windows. They're gorgeous. Let's go back in here and see if we can spot anything else. So I haven't yet seen a font, but we've definitely spotted the tall building. We've spotted seating. We've seen the raised platform to tell that for the person to be doing the service in. We've seen a Bible, and I think we might pause it there and find out some more. But if you wanted to continue to have a look around here, if you just type in Bristol Cathedral, the virtual tour, you can carry on. So, sacred artifacts. We've briefly thought about this one, but there is a font which contains the holy water for a baptism. A baptism is the ceremony where a person is brought closer to God. As a baby, you would be have some water on your head, or sometimes you're even put in the font as the ceremony where you feel closer to God and you begin your Christian journey. And then there is the altar, which we did just see actually in the church. And this is the table which is used for a communion, which is like another service, a special ceremony altogether. And during a communion, they eat bread and wine, and this reminds them of the Last Supper before Jesus died. So a communion is sort of coming together and feeling the togetherness with both God and everybody around you. And they share bread and wine. So this is the altar, and it's used during a communion, and they eat yummy bread and wine. Like we said, the Bible is a collection of religious texts, so lots of stories in there about Jesus and his disciples. And a text is selected, so a certain part of one of the stories, which is then read by somebody during a church service, and that person will give meaning for how Christians can achieve what's being said by the text. So it might be not giving up, always having hope, being brave, and then the person doing the service might give a personal example and a way that you can also achieve that. This is the cross, the symbol of God. The cross is a symbol of life and hope because it reminds people that Jesus died and came back to life to help guide his followers. So a cross is actually a sort of a happy symbol, because you might think it's a bit strange to have a symbol where they remember Jesus died. However, it was a sign of hope as well, because he did come back to life and help his followers when he was resurrected. Candles. Candles are a symbol of light and love towards God. I did see some candlesticks actually in the cathedral, and they are lit during worship ceremonies to just feel closer to God, and that's just a really nice gesture to do in the middle of the ceremony. So candles are a symbol of light and love. So today's job, there are 5 artifacts that I have just talked you through. There was the candles being lit to show light and love. There's the cross, which is the symbol of Jesus coming back to life and having hope for all Christians. There is the Bible, which is the collection of religious texts which are read during a service. There is the altar, which is used for a communion, eating the yummy bread and wine, reminding them of being together, just like the meal before Jesus died. And the font, where children are baptised. So those are the 5 artifacts we've looked at a little bit closer. So your challenge today is to create a puzzle. And within each part of the puzzle, you are doing something different. So you can see here it says what the object looks like. So I've got the picture of the font. Then it says name of the object. So I've spelled font, font. Object in use. So like we said with the Bible, when it's in use during a service. When it's the altar, it's being used for the communion with bread and wine. When it's the font, it's being used in a baptism. The candles being used to be lit in a ceremony. And the cross is just shown within the church, isn't it? And it's a symbol of resurrection. So you need to do what the object looks like, the name of the object, it being used, and then why it's important. So I said it holds holy water used for a baptism. A baptism helps people be close to God. But like I said, you could have done the Bible, and then the name of the Bible being used in a service, and why it's important. You could have done the altar. You could have said, shown it with the communion with bread and wine on, and then said why that's important. So it's up to you. You're just thinking of one artifact, but we are digging deeper into the 4 pieces. So it looks like this. What the object looks like, name of the object, object in use, and why it's important. And I will leave my example there for you. I hope you've enjoyed having a little look inside a real church, thinking of 5 artifacts, and me and Miss Evans, as always, so proud and can't wait to see how you explore this today and your final puzzle. Okay, everybody, have a fantastic week, and I will see you soon. Bye.